Becoming the version of yourself that God sees certainly requires attention. You got to pay attention to all the details. Things that you wouldn't necessarily have looked at in time past. It's really important that you look at it. A few days ago, while I was at work, I just felt overwhelmed because I'm in this new role and I feel like I don't know, obviously, what I don't know, and that I shouldn't be in that role. It should be someone else. That whole imposter syndrome, so to speak. But to me, it made sense. How am I teaching other people to do what I don't even know how to do myself, right? And so I spoke to my mentor and shared my experiences with her so far. And she shared her experience with me, just basically encouraging me and sharing with me that when she started, she also felt the same way. But she asked a lot of questions and reminding me that I shouldn't compare myself to her. Not that I thought that I was doing that, but understanding that she's been doing this for 26 years. I've been doing this for 2 months. So that was really encouraging. In any case, I got back to my desk and I sat down and I felt, you know what? Maybe this is where I'm supposed to be. And maybe I should stop thinking in that way. And the moment I thought that, I just heard this voice say, maybe you should start seeing yourself as a clinical nurse educator. And I was like, it stopped me dead in my tracks. This whole time that I was in that role, I was not seeing myself as a clinical nurse educator. I was still seeing myself as a floor nurse. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a bedside nurse. There's nothing wrong with that. I still go back to the bedside every now and then. But that is not the role that I'm currently in. I'm in a different role. So rather than just dressing differently, I have to shift my mindset. Now, went home, spent some time with God, and as I knelt down to pray, the thought came to mind. This has to be God. It wouldn't be anybody else but God. That said, why don't you show up as a Christian? Why don't you see yourself as a Christian? Because I can show up as a clinical nurse educator, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what happens in the other parts of my life, right? So if I'm choosing not to show up as a Christian, it takes care of the mom in me. It takes care of the sister in me. It takes care of the clinical nurse educator in me. It takes care of the friend in me. It takes care of the church member in me. It takes care of the coach in me. It takes care of all of me holistically if I choose to show up as a Christian. And, since then, my prayer has been daily, Lord, teach me how to show up as a Christian. Show me today how I can show up as a Christian. Show me today how I can honor your word. And it's more than just asking God to show me. It requires work on my part, in a sense where I have to spend time in his word because I need to know who he is. So I know how he would show up in certain situations. It isn't like the Matrix. He's not just going to download stuff into my brain and then I get it. That's not how that works. I mean, that would be so good if that's how that worked, but it's not. We actually have to work with him. This is what God desires of us. He desires of us to work with him, right? And so since then, it really has been constantly on my mind. In my daily prayer, Lord, show me how to show up as a Christian. Now when I read the Bible, I read it differently. When I listen to sermons, I'm listening differently because I'm listening for ways. I'm reading and I'm listening for God's character. I'm reading and I'm listening to see how he showed up, how Jesus showed up, right? And so it's different. It's different. It's humbling. It's beautiful. It's an interesting experience. And we've been only a few days in. But I am certainly noticing a difference, because once your mind shifts, your body follows. Yeah, and I know that, but this is my experience with it. So that's all I have for you. I'm curious though, are you in a position, or are you in a role that you don't believe that you should be in? Have you decided to see yourself that way? Or are you still seeing yourself as you were? Yeah, because if God is calling us to something higher, then that means he's already said that we are that version. So I want you to go and steward the woman that God is restoring you to be, one faithful step at a time. And I'll see you in the next one. God bless you.